Welcome to The Arts of the Answer, a co-production of the Arts Council for Monterey County and Access Monterey Peninsula. I'm Steve Elzy, Executive Producer for AMP.
And I'm Paulette Lynch, Executive Director of the Arts Council for Monterey County. Over the next 30 minutes, artists, educators, and presenters share their stories and their passion.
And also how the arts bring joy and vitality into our lives.
It all starts right now. I'm here with Xavier Belante. He's the new program coordinator for Breakthrough H'art, a program of Interim Inc. And we're just so excited to have him here to share the stories of what's happening there and how the arts are helping the residents of Interim and all the many people that they serve.
Breakthrough H'art is a program that's dedicated to art and healing and really helping our clients and our residents to step out of whatever's going on in their head, in their heart, and have an opportunity to focus on something creative and just have some healing from that process. So what I do is I not only coordinate the groups, I also go out and actually facilitate a lot of those lessons in the groups where we do projects. I also coordinate with shows and fellow artists and museums to try to move the program forward.
Some of the projects that have come out of the program have been mosaics that are been placed at the resident homes and things like that. Can you talk about some of those bigger projects that your groups have done?
Absolutely. Yeah, Breakthrough H'art has actually been involved in a number of different large-scale mosaic projects. They've done one for the Marina Salinas Transit Center, the MST Center in Marina. Amazing. They did a whole series for Sunflower Gardens, which is one of Interim's residences out in Salinas. And right now we're currently working on a series of mosaics, 6 smaller mosaics and 1 larger mosaic for Interim's brand new housing development called Rock Rose Gardens that's going to be opening next year.
Can you talk about some of those and what it means too for the clients that you serve to be a part of those big projects?
The artists themselves, the residents that are part of the program, they're involved from the design concept phase all the way through the construction of the actual mosaics. And so they have a huge sense of accomplishment and pride in being able to produce something that, you know, not only is permanent, that's going to last for as long as the building is there, but is also something that can inspire other people who come through that housing system that are in the same position that, say, that client is in now. 10 years down the road, there could be someone that comes through, sees that mosaic, and is inspired in their recovery. And I feel like that gives our clients a great sense of pride and accomplishment and a great sense of community by being able to participate in those kind of projects.
When you're first starting your class, or you're first starting with a new group, how do you get them to feel able and safe and comfortable with working with the materials and letting their own ideas come out and working together?
Personally, I believe that everybody is an artist. And in Breakthrough H'art, there's no good art, there's no bad art. It's all just art, and it's all just an expression of what's going on with yourself. And so I try to identify with the members of my group first and foremost by recognizing the fact that, you know, I am also someone who's in recovery, and art has been a big part of my healing process and very cathartic for me. And so what I try to do is allow them to feel that same sense of energy and participate in something that is going to help them not only feel better, but is going to give them, you know, a great sense of belonging to a group of people.
As you look ahead, what are your dreams for what you may all yet do?
Okay, well, I see Breakthrough H'art being a big program. I feel like at this point we're still getting the ball rolling. I've only been in charge of the program now for a few months, and so I'm kind of getting things up and running and expanding. But ideally, a year or two, I would like to see Breakthrough H'art be a large program with a centralized studio location and something on par with an organization like the Youth Arts Collective, where a number of people are able to come to the location. It's open 6 days a week. We have groups, we have classes, we have a support system available, and we're involved in major projects with places like, the city of Monterey, the city of Marina. I feel like this program has that capacity, and I want to take it there, and I want to see us get there. I want to see our artists be successful.
And it's just, I just feel really that we're so fortunate that you're willing to take all of that and bring it into Interim, bring it to all of us, and I'm really looking forward to great things ahead.
Oh, thank you so much. I am too. It's been a pleasure, and I'm enjoying my job very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm here with Jen Gelhart. She's the development officer with Interim, and we're just really excited to have her be able to talk to us a little bit about how the Breakthrough H'art program fits within their framework, their strategy, their overall approach to helping people with mental illness. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me today.
So tell us a little bit about the Interim mission. I know you even have 3 great words on your website. So just to help set the idea here, what you're trying to do.
Sure. So our mission is to provide affordable housing and services that support community members in Monterey County with serious mental illnesses. So a lot of people think of those as schizophrenia or schizoaffective disorder or bipolar disorder. We believe that housing, healing, and hope can be a path to mental health. So those are those 3 magic words. We've come to realize that housing is a great first step towards wellness and recovery for people with serious mental illnesses, but we also need to incorporate the healing and the hope as part of the journey towards wellness and recovery for these people in order to achieve stability and to have housing and to be able to live healthy, productive lives on their own and be independent. So
you're really taking people on a journey. You're giving them a place to come to for resources, and then even a place to stay for many of them. And then you're helping them work through, and my understanding is you keep, every time I look at what you're doing more for a greater number of people in a greater geographic area in Monterey County. There's more housing, there's more programs. So I'm very much a big fan of what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thrilled to see the arts become more and more a part of your holistic approach. Can you talk about what that means, when somebody comes to your doors, they're probably pretty stressed out, even if it's a family member who's coming first. What happens for them as they arrive, and where do you take them?
Sure. So you're right. We started out providing mostly housing opportunities for our clients, but over the years we realized that they could benefit from other supportive services. So we have a supported education and employment program for people in order to achieve employment and maintain employment. We have a homeless outreach program, and our Breakthrough H'art program has really fit into these additional supportive services that we provide for both our residents and people that don't necessarily reside in our housing. And so Breakthrough H'art, and I should also mention the Omni Wellness Center and Our Voices, which are 2 centers in Monterey that are mutual support programs. So they're led by mental health consumers, for mental health consumers in order to do recreational activities. And for those programs, nobody needs a referral to attend. You don't have to have any kind of insurance or payment set up. And Breakthrough H'art is similar in that the clients don't necessarily reside with us. However, it provides an opportunity for people to experience a sense of community, work together on a group project, and then really achieve something through their creativity.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for what you're doing. And if the community wanted to be, if anybody in the community wanted to get involved or be more supportive to your supportive services, how can they get involved?
We're able to do all these programs and serve all these people due to support from our community. So of course donations to Interim or Breakthrough H'art are always welcome. In particular, Breakthrough H'art, actually, we're always in need of new art supplies. So if anybody has any canvases, paintbrushes, crayons and markers, watercolors, oil pastels, even broken up shards of sturdy ceramics.
My favorite part, for the mosaics.
For the mosaics, exactly. So we are always in need of more supplies because the clients really enjoy the program and the artistic process and how it helps them. So,
well, thanks again. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks again for having me.
It's such a pleasure to have with me in the studio today Ellen Martin, who is the Executive Director of First Night Monterey. Ellen, welcome to the program. What time and where are you kicking things off this year?
3 o'clock, Colton Lawn on Pacific Street. You'll hear the roar of the taiko drummers calling us into the new year.
That's so wonderful. And you have a theme every year. What's the theme this year?
This year, Sea Changes, our 21st Community Celebration of the Arts.
Parents with children, what can they expect when they come down?
Well, there's lots of different performers that cater to the children. Then lots of participatory art activities, from make a New Year's Eve celebration hat, which is a great tradition, to make a crown, a jellyfish, have your photo taken for the new year. All along the route that comprises the First Night venues, you'll have all kinds of things to do to have fun with your entire family.
I'm going to come down to First Night. What do you have for the seniors? Anything special this year?
Well, we have a lot of programming, particularly in the afternoons, so that seniors can come down before it gets dark. So traditional music by MPC Orchestra's ensemble, e-cantori, beautiful choral music at the Church of the Religious Science, a small jazz trio at the Conference Center, the opening at Colton Lawn, all accessible, all within walking, or there's parking nearby all of our venues, although we do close Alvarado down in Pacific for a short period of time.
What's in store for the teens this year?
Well, we have lots of new bands that the teens are just going to be so excited about. We have a reggae island band that's going to be a lot of fun. We have MC Lars, hip-hop international artist, who's coming, who's our artist in residence this year and is going to be working with the Marina Teen Group. And lots of dance bands out on Alvarado and at the Golden State and in the Sarah Ballroom. So, you know, they'll be able to kick up their heels all the way into the new year. Everything about our event can be found on our website, firstnightmonterey.org. So volunteers are greatly appreciated. We feed you, you work 3.5 hours, you get to see the rest of the night or afternoon for free. It's a great way to participate, not be alone, be part of. You know, the beauty of First Night is there's so many different types of bands, so many different types of activities. So you get to experience all these different acts on one night and go from one venue to another, have dinner downtown, or have a grab and go from one of our vendors on Alvarado. So it's an afternoon, evening of really great fun into the new year.
Where can people get tickets? What's the best way to get tickets?
Well, you can get tickets online right now on our website, and then all Safeway in Monterey County, Walgreens downtown Monterey, all throughout Monterey County there are ways, and all that information is up on our website.
New Year's, there's only one place to go, First Night Monterey. And thank you so much for coming down and sharing with us.
Thank you, Steve.
Hi, my name is Walter Ryce. I'm the arts writer for the Monterey County Weekly, and I'm glad to have as my guest on the show Jennifer Benge. She is a self-taught mixed media artist working in the mediums of painting, sculpture, mixed media, and crafts, and who uses digital media to disseminate her work, and who's been featured on websites such as marthastewart.com. Jennifer, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Can you tell us when your earliest recollection of when the creative and artistic impulse first entered your life?
I have clear memories as far back as kindergarten of, creating my class projects and using, you know, your tempera and your finger paints and having a lot of positive feedback from adults. And I think that really encouraged me from that age on.
Your father sounds like he was a really creative person. Was he an influence in you doing art?
But if as far back as I can remember, he was always making something, and it could have been science related. I do have memories of him making our fireworks for us one year for 4th of July, but he didn't just make the fireworks and pack the powder. He also wrapped it up in the colorful papers and made them cool, you know. So he worked in, you know, every medium that I can think of. He did pencil drawings. He'd always have something going on, or he'd create a sculpture. So he was a fun guy to be around.
And did you help him?
You know, there were times when I was with my dad and my uncle and my cousins and my brothers, and we all would sit around the table, and everybody was working on their own art project and sort of feeding off of each other. And it, you know, wildly different. One person could be carving soapstone and another doing a drawing. And, you know, there was always a mix of materials, and they didn't have to be oil paints. I've seen my dad and that side of the family do amazing things with crayons, and I think that's important, you know, to just use what you have.
Where was this, where you were growing up?
I grew up in Southern California, and then my dad moved up to Gold Country maybe around when I was 12. So we'd spend summers up there in the mountains and, you know, play in the creek all day and make art all evening. A lot of what I really enjoyed drawing when I was younger, and that was most of what I did. And I got into a real style of pen and ink, you know, just very high contrast drawings for quite a while. But it wasn't so much nature that I would work with other than that, but just found objects, anything around me.
So how did you sort of go from that, coming from this artistic family and having encouragement young, to more kind of cultivating and training yourself and taking off on your own to keep doing art?
Yeah, it's just an impulse. It's something that I do to relax. So I want to go home on the weekend, you know, after a long work week and make something. And it's just a way for me to settle down and mellow out.
So now can you describe the different types of mediums that you work in and what you do in those mediums?
I love paper. I love just how accessible it is. The variety out there is amazing, from, you know, commercially printed scrapbooking paper to handmade linen papers. They're beautiful, and they're just so much fun. You can bend it, you can fold it, you can wrap it, you can glue it. So I love paper for sure. But I also work, I like to sculpt, and I generally use a polymer medium. It's an oven-baked clay. So you get a little bit more stability than you would with an air dry, but you don't have to own a kiln. So that, and also wire. I love wire. I go to Orchard Supply and buy, you know, stovepipe wire or baling pipe wire. I always have some on hand. It's useful in so many ways. And I often bring the three together.
Okay. You're wearing, in fact, one of your pieces. Can you kind of just hold it up for the camera? Explain how you made this.
This was made with the baling wire from the hardware store, and the ring was actually, the button in the ring came from a box of buttons that my grandmother gave me. And she had some amazing, beautiful buttons from the 30s, 40s, and 50s in there. This one happens to be mother of pearl. And, you know, I think when I made this one, I didn't yet have a ring sizer. So I think I used a chapstick tube to bend the wire around and wrap the button in. And, you know, so it's a little extra special for me that, you know, it's from my grandmother, and, you know, I made it, so that's fun. It's just fun.
The main realm through which you promote your work is the website.
Etsy.com, and my website on Etsy is Poor Little Lamb, and it's all one word, .etsy.com, and pretty much any variation of those things on the web with Google, you can probably find it, Poor Little Lamb. And it's a great website that just really democratizes the artist's work, and anybody can get on there for very little upfront cost and start showcasing their items to people all over the world.
When they go to Poor Little Lamb or Google your name, Jennifer Benge, what would people find of your work there?
I tend to, well, my biggest seller since I started has been paper masks. And I work with recycled cardboard and start with that and embellish it with glitters and paper and ribbons and things and create these masks.
How do you make your work really visual and tie it to the Monterey County landscape?
I will take different items that I make, especially glass items, out to the beach and use the beach sand and the waves as the background. Of course, you've also got the wonderful sunlight coming through the item to take pictures as a background. I've also used some of the oak groves that we have locally with the Spanish moss, which is just beautiful, to hang different items, candle holders into the trees and take pictures that way. It's just such a great location. You don't have to go far, and you can see see all the beautiful backdrops that are available.
And these are sometimes places from which you gather the material to make the piece.
Sometimes I do work with sea glass, and I mean, it's a very popular medium online, but I give it my own twist, and I love to, take items back out and, use the light at the beach to photograph them.
You had big showcase on another website, marthastewart.com. Explain what that was about.
Well, she was running a promotional event. She was running a contest for the best Halloween crafts of, I think it was 2010. And, one of the things when you're working online is you really have to look for those opportunities to promote yourself. And I do use her products. So, I entered a piece. I entered one of my Halloween masks in there and was lucky enough to place. And when you're doing a craft style work, there's really no better stamp of approval than to have Martha Stewart and her team select your piece. My mom was adorable. She called the whole family when I told her. So it's been really cool, and I've had traffic coming to my site ever since. That was back in 2010, and I still have, when I look at where people are coming from, that's one of the things that still pops up.
You also have another prospect for an art show coming up.
I plan to have a mix of mediums. I'll probably do 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional art. I do have some ideas for pieces that I wouldn't sell online, and it's not because I don't love them or I don't think that they're great, but when you're selling online, there are certain things that photograph and there's certain things that don't. So bringing some of that work that is better in the 3-dimension in there is where I'll be going, and expect for there to be some wire and paper thrown in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like you never know what you're going to pull into a piece.
I don't. I a lot of times start a piece before I have a clear vision of exactly what I want to do. I know, and hopefully I'll be learning this during my studies. I know a lot of people will draft out and do sketches before they start work, and I'm just the opposite. I want to jump right in and start making it and see where it takes me.
Sounds like a good metaphor for the way that we can all expect to see work of yours. We don't know where it's going to come from, what direction it's going to take.
You don't. I always try new things and see what bubbles up to the top.
Jennifer, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Berniz House, the Community Outreach Coordinator for the Arts Council. Today, in this segment, we will take a look to Peña Cultural. Peña Cultural is a group founded by Adela Castillo y Jose Moran, where their mission is to continue the tradition of Spanish poetry and music. They host monthly meetings in Art Salinas. If you would like more information, please visit our webpage at www.arts4mc or contact me at 831-250-6184.
De solo oír hablar de muerte, secuestrados, asesinados, violados.
Quiero compartir, no dejes de sorprenderme, que sea el amor de mi vida, mi mejor amiga, diamante solo mía.
Thanks so much for watching, and thanks to all of our guests today. As you can see, we are very fortunate to live in a region with so much diversity and vitality.
The arts are magical, but nothing happens by magic alone.
So join us on camera to tell your story, or join us behind the scenes.
Find out more and get more involved today. We think you too will discover
The arts are the answer.